You've tried it your way, but you're still in debt. Or maybe you're doing okay, but want to invest smarter, grow faster. MillionaireX.ai gives you real step-by-step strategies to ditch debt or stack wealth. Stop dreaming and start planning. Visit MillionaireX.ai today. I want you to be the next millionaire next door.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Let's stop acting like we don't see how this game is played. If you tired of folks throwing shade with a smile and keeping you boxed in with that slick behind-the-scenes racism, it's time to upgrade your survival skills. See, Phillip Scott dropped more than just knowledge. He handed you a playbook with passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy. This ain't the in-your-face kind. This is that sneaky, office space, let me block your blessings type of racism that'll have you questioning your own reality. It's time to call it what it is and arm yourself with the facts. But baby, don't stop at just peeping the system. Break those mental chains too. That's why you need 7 steps to decolonize the mind. This is about freeing yourself up top, walking in confidence, and letting the world know your mind is not for rent, lease, or layaway. It's time to reclaim your power step by step. So don't just watch, take action. Click over to Amazon.com, type in passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy and 7 steps to decolonize the mind, and secure both books for yourself, your crew, and anybody ready for that mental liberation. La Sherika said it, now go do it. Invest in your freedom. Pick up both books today on Amazon.com. Trust me, your mind will thank you.
After 13 years of exposing lies in the media, I discovered the biggest lie of all. They want you to think racism is random, accidental, just bad people doing bad things. But what if I told you anti-black racism was engineered, programmed like software, marketed like a product, and designed to survive across generations? That's exactly what I prove in my new book, Us versus the Machine, how anti-black racism was programmed, marketed, and made to survive. This isn't another book about what racism looks like. This is the blueprint of how it was built, who profits from it, and most importantly, how to dismantle it. I spent years connecting dots that they never wanted connected, following money trails that they thought were buried, exposing the machine that runs on our oppression. Knowledge is power, but strategic knowledge is liberation. Get Us versus the Machine on Amazon today, because once you understand the system, you can beat the system.
If you have not been tuning in before, my goodness, you've missed out on a lot. Broke boy, but with potential. What made you realize this soft life is for me?
I deserve it. Because main money is special. I'm single.
But you don't like to be alone now.
I'm looking for a guy to break my heart. As long as they're Nigerians now.
Watch Slay Queen Nigeria only on the African Diaspora News Channel app.
From November 14th to 21st, we're inviting you to join us for a powerful trip to Ghana. This isn't just a vacation. This is a chance to walk through the same places where many of our people were captured, held, and shipped off into slavery. So don't wait. Secure your spot today. We're making history by walking through it. Will you be with us?
In H-Town, we want news that speaks truth, just like we do.
ADNC keeps me informed and him inspired.
We've been through too much to trust mainstream media. This feels like us.
From the D to the diaspora, ADNC is how I stay woke.
We binge ADNC like it's Netflix, but smarter.
They speak on us, but never for us. ADNC does.
No fluff. No filters. Just the truth, daily.
From Wall Street to 125th, we're watching our news.
Download the African Diaspora News Channel app today to stay connected to the culture.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us on the stream. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the like button. I want to thank you for downloading the African Diaspora News Channel app. If you haven't done that yet, why don't you do it? It's in the Google Play and Apple App Store. You know, we can get 10 people to join per stream. That's always a good thing to see. Whether you join monthly, it's just $9.99 a month. It's equivalent to 31 cents a day. You can also join annual, you know, and also you'll say, you know what, I want to join lifetime. You can do that as well. And you never have to worry about price increases or anything that come like that. The quarterly that we have right now, that's going to be going away as of January 1. So if you want to get, grandfathered into the quarterly because maybe you like it, it's best to jump on it now. And you'll keep being a part of that unless you allow it to lapse. So I appreciate everybody who has been supporting and just every month supporting. Some people may have some lapses and things like that. But, remember, you're sowing seed in good ground. Okay, we got to support our platforms because we don't have platforms. We don't have them. We don't have them. Trust me. Let me tell you something about things like this. Sometimes you don't appreciate things till they're gone. And, it goes along the lines of what we're going to talk about tonight with the Supreme Court. It's kind of like, I look at a lot of things that we have like a good man. Let me tell you about a good man. A good man is never really appreciated until he's gone. A good man, people get so used to him doing good things or doing the right thing until he's not there anymore. Like, wow, I actually had it pretty good with him, right? I never had to worry about this. I never had to worry about that. Now I'm dealing with this. Now I'm dealing with that. Oh, I missed this particular man. And whether this man is gone by, hey, he went with the Lord. Maybe this man is just not with you no more because, hey, you whatever. Y'all not together, but he was a good man, right? Maybe you thought that the grass is greener on the other side, whatever. And now you missed that. You got out there, really got to see the real world, what you really got to deal with. Now it's like, oh, boy, I had it good then. Well, that's how it is with things for us as black people, or things that we fought for, or places like this. You won't appreciate it till it's gone. And when it comes to something like the Voting Rights Act, you wouldn't appreciate that till it's gone either. And we're going to get into that. So the Supreme Court, as we say in the title, right now is there's a case out of Louisiana, and they were upset because they have to protect, black districts. And the reason why this came about is because Jim Crow, with all the gerrymandering and all the poll tests and all kinds of things to keep black people from voting, right? In the Voting Rights Act, they made sure you had to have black majority districts. Anytime you come up with, especially in the southern states, if you come up with any map, they had to be given to the feds so they can look at the map and make sure you're not discriminating against black people voting. Well, the first thing they attacked through the Supreme Court was the maps. So then they got, I think it was a Shelby v. Holder, that case during the time of Barack Obama. They went to the Supreme Court to stop them from having to approve their maps, to make sure the maps are fair, right? These people, and I'm going to go there tonight. These people have been plotting to try to continue to disenfranchise black people ever since black people got rights. See, the biggest problem with black people in this country is that after the civil rights movement, you sat down, you started using drugs, you start partying, you start BSing, you start laying down with white people, male or female, don't matter. And you did not continue to fight after Dr. King and all of them had passed away like you should have continued to fight which would be reparations, things like an anti-black hate crime bill, making sure black people are good, putting more laws on the books to protect black people, enshrine these things that they never can be overturned. You sat down, you got comfortable. And the biggest problem with black folks is you're comfortable. And because of your comfort, while you're comfortable, these people are strategizing and plotting on you daily while smiling in your face. And they have not stopped. While you want to get high on your weed and get drunk and go party, these people are plotting on you. Then the sad part about it, we have more representation than we ever had in this country. And the representation, where's the Congressional Black Caucus about this case? Why aren't they screaming and yelling about this case? Why? They in the position they're in because of the Voting Rights Act. So why aren't they screaming about that case? They're quiet. They're not saying nothing. We talking about loud, not somebody on a podcast saying, yeah, this case is not right. Like, they say nothing. They let you know your so-called black representation is just sold out. Because if the Supreme Court get rid of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, they're not going to be in office no more. They're done. And maybe that should happen. Maybe, right? What are they really doing for black folk at this point? They won't even speak up when things happen that our ancestors fought for. This is why also I've told y'all, I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to have no debates. I don't want to hear nothing. This is why I say that. It don't matter what political party they come from. Don't talk to me about no rights. Don't even talk to me about this country. I don't even want to hear from you. Because are you screaming and yelling about what's happening in the Supreme Court right now? No. You know why? Because it's not going to affect them. Y'all have to understand, it don't matter what political party they're a part of. It doesn't affect them. Everything they do to disenfranchise us, they're good. See, but let me say something to white women here for a minute. Let me talk to white women. White women, if they can pull this off, they come to take away your voting rights next. Because really what they want to go back to what it used to be in this country. Only white men who are landowners can vote. But I wanna take you somewhere also about the rigging, the cheating. These people, when I've said to y'all before on this mini shows, okay, if they are breathing and speaking to you, they're lying. I said that to you. I didn't say it to sound fly. I said it because I have not seen a collective truth. Notice, listen to the words I'm using. I have not seen a collective truth in them. I didn't say an individual that spoke some truth. Didn't say that. I said a collective truth. Never seen it. And anything they say, I don't believe and I don't trust. Based off of history, right? Based off of history. You ask, why Senator Tim Scott? You say, why isn't Senator Tim Scott saying anything? Why isn't Hakeem Jeffries ain't saying anything either? Why both of them haven't saying anything? Because both of them are sold out. That's why. It don't matter what political party they're a part of. Y'all need to get out of that political party crap. I think this political party stuff and this voting for parties was the greatest trick they played on black people. Because see, during the time of the civil rights era, we was focused on us as black people, not a Democrat, not a Republican, just black people and dealing with them and who they were, not political party. after the Civil Rights Movement, after the Voting Rights Act and all that, then you start focusing on, well, is he a Republican or he's a Democrat? And y'all have been conned to not focus on how they move collectively in the area of white supremacy. It is us versus them. And y'all forgot that. Y'all try to say, well, he's a Republican. Ooh, look at Trump. Ooh, look at the Republicans. I'm like, okay, fine. Where's Gavin Newsom talking about this case? He's always run off at the mouth now. He's not mentioning it, is he? Oh, because Gavin Newsom don't want you to have nothing anyway. He no different than Trump. Because they the same. They are the same. And I keep trying to tell y'all this. It don't matter what political party they're part of. They are the same. And Cynthia say the Democrats in Michigan are very quiet because they don't want you to vote either. Because you know how the Democrats feel? Well, you know what? If you're not going to vote for Democrats no more, you know what? I'm cool with you losing your voting, losing the ability for you to vote. I'm cool with that. Because if you're not going to vote for, we was cool with you because you were giving us all the vote for the past 60 years. But if you're not going to give it to us, I'm cool with you losing it. I'm good. Or greatly crippling it. I'm cool. That's your Democrats for you. Now, let's go ahead on and get to the part that really, if you want to say what set everything in motion with this. Let me show you. Let me get to an article. Election results. We got to go back in time. We got a lot of this going. This is the beginning of the problem. This election right here. Why are we facing some of these problems today? So we're looking at the 2016 election between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. This election right here showed me why the presidential elections are not, there's nothing about it that's considered fair and would be, people say, a scam. Let me use the word scam. It's a scam. So that's forget if you like Hillary Clinton or not. Don't matter if you like her or not. I don't care. How is it that you went out and you campaigned whatever? You got 65 million votes. 65,853,625 votes. You got 48% of the votes in the whole country. Okay? Donald Trump in 2016 got 62,985,106 votes, 45.9% of the vote. And yet he won the election, not because more people voted for Trump at that time period. No. If you just went by pure votes alone, Hillary Clinton would have became the president. If Hillary Clinton would have became the president, now, whether you like her or not, she wouldn't have appointed the judges that he appointed. And also, at the same time, there were some issues going on, too. Mitch McConnell got a lot of this stuff going when he did not confirm, I think it was Merrick Garland at the time. He wouldn't confirm him. He wouldn't let him even get up to a Senate vote. Obama was very weak. Okay, Obama was extremely weak at that time period. He didn't call him out. He didn't pressure him. He didn't do any of that. And that was part of the problem with Barack Obama. Every time he had some pushback from the white people, he always backed down. He never stood 10 toes down on anything. Even in his second term, when he could have really stood 10 toes down, he did not do that. Okay? So that happened. Then you look at Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She didn't step out when she should have. So this stuff that's happening today it's been a series of things happening to lead up to those when Trump appointed those 3 justices. You understand what I'm saying? So you tell people to vote for the president in the election But it seemed, but based off of your system of the Electoral College, it's not one vote, one person. So I've had those conversations with some of the folks in the past, and I'm like, I've never liked the Electoral College. I've never liked it. And say, well, we have to kind of do it like that because that means California and New York will be deciding the majority of elections, and the people in the smaller states or rural states wouldn't have much of a say. I'm like, you have a say, you voting. So that means one vote, one person. You have to understand these smaller states got just as much power as California. Now, I don't agree with that. California is one of the most populous states in the country. Whether you like California or not, it just is. California pays more money into the federal government than any other state. So why is it that California should be equal to an Iowa in representation? It shouldn't be. Not with that many people, more representation. It's just that simple. I'm a person that believes that Washington, D.C. should be a state. I believe Puerto Rico should be a state. Well, they don't want that to happen. Why? Because that means black people in particular would be the governor, and that would give more seats to in the House and the Senate. And 9 times out of 10 it's gonna be black. Puerto Rico is Latinos, so they don't want that either. Everything they move, every move they make is based on race. Okay, when these people come up to you and say why everything is about race, They are gaslighting. That's why I told you I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear no political talk from them. That's why. I don't want to hear no debates. I don't want to talk. I don't want to hear, oh, we sorry what happened to you black people. I'm over it. I'm telling you, I'm so over it. And maybe because I'm getting older and I just don't have time for the BS. I think that's the beauty about getting older, is that you really see through the BS a lot quicker. And you realize I'm not wasting my time because I don't have it to waste at this point. You see the BS. Well, you see the BS coming before it even come to you. It's like you just sitting here like this, peeping it, and like, man, don't talk to me, bro. Don't talk to me. Don't do it. Why you want to talk to me? Why do you want to talk to us? Why? You're not doing nothing about it. So what are you going to talk to me for? I don't need to hear you say, they so racist. I don't want to hear nothing about they racist. I don't want to hear nothing because you could do something about it and you don't. So don't tell me nothing about your brethren being so-called racist, because in the end, you are gaslighting. You're gaslighting. You're just coming over here doing a temperature check on black people. Let's see how black people responds to this. Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Oh, those Republicans are so racist. And where were you saying something about it? Why are you telling me about it? Why? I didn't see you saying nothing about it. Didn't see you do anything at all. They can't be that racist because you didn't say nothing, right? But let's get hold on. What this genius says down here. Let me answer this genius. You're starting to sound like them libtarded got to. Okay. Let me let you know something real quick. I'm for black people. I'm not for any other. I'm for black people. This channel is called African Diaspora News Channel. I'm for black people all over the world. I'm not for you. I'm not for anybody else but my people. And the reason why I'm for them is because we don't have enough representation in media or anything else. Okay? Y'all are just cheat, you lie, and you steal. That's all you've been doing from the moment everybody met you, not just black folk. You met the Native Americans, you did that. You met the Asians, you did that. You met the Arabs. Everywhere you go, you have lied, cheat, stole, destroy, maim. That's what you have done historically. And you don't want the world to know what you did. So you try to remove books out of school because you don't want people to know about your history and what you have done. And to let you know, the so-called Democrats don't even like me. They don't even talk to me. They don't invite me to the Democrat functions. What Democrat politician have you seen come on this program? None. So you can miss me with that BS. No, the fact is, I'm always going to be for my people. Because I have no other people I can go to. That's number one. Number two, I get why y'all doing what you're doing. You thinking you doing this because that's the only way you know how to operate, is that you have to be oppressive. You can't get along with nobody. It's no country in the world you go to that you can get along with anybody. You look in South Africa, you can't get along with black folks there. You can't. Your own nations, you can't even get along with each other. Look at Russia and Ukraine. That's white people fighting each other. Y'all can't even get along that way. Every time you look at European history, that's all you ever done was sit there and fight and take the lives of each other. That should have been your history. I'm not making up anything about anybody. But the fact is, more and more black folks is calling your actions out. And really, I'm glad y'all doing what y'all doing, because it will wake my people up a lot faster. It will get us to get in line and get on code, because that's been our problem. We've been so off code with this Democrat Party crap that our people have been conned. They've been bamboozled. I ain't heard Dr. King told us to be Democrats. I haven't heard Malcolm X say go be a Democrat either. So you can't say Honorable Elijah Muhammad never told us to go be no Democrat. Minister Farrakhan never told us to go out there and go stomp for the Democrats. I ain't heard nobody say go stomp for a political party. I heard him say fight for black people, though. Stand up for us. Do what works best for us as a community. Now you say the CBC are mostly not FBAs. Yeah, but they got FBAs in the CBC, though. Come on now. They got FBAs in the CBC. You can't put it all on immigrants. And let's call it what it is. The FBAs who are off code showed the black immigrants they don't have to be on code. If you come into an environment where everybody's on code, you're going to either get in line with it or you're going to move around because it's going to be uncomfortable for you. But when you come in and see the FBA politicians off code, whether they mayors, whether they city council people, whether they in Congress, the few you got in the Senate, not many, if everybody's off code, why should you be on code? If everybody looking to line their pockets with these folks and just toe the Democrat line, why should you do anything different? You need to get your money too, right? So no. We can't just come in here and say, oh, it's the immigrant, black immigrant. No. It's FBA too. Maxine Waters isn't an immigrant. She's FBA. I mean, there's so many names we can call that's FBA. So no. It's FBAs that sold out black folks in this country too. Shoot. Brandon Johnson, he's an FBA. Look all that money he was giving the immigrants. So why would a black immigrant come in here and start doing right by black people when you got those kind of examples? I just deal with truth, brothers and sisters. I don't deal with all that no. What's the truth? We have way more FBA in this country, 43 plus million of us in this country, way more than the black immigrant. They don't even have the voting power that we have. And they spread out. Now let me get to the next thing I want to look at here, because this type of topic get on my nerves. Beyond what personally it gets on my nerves. But to be honest with you, a lot of things here get on my nerves as of late. So let me go here. Let's look more into it. So I say Voting Rights Act on the line, key takeaways from Supreme Court hearing. Now I say the Supreme Court, it heard oral arguments on Wednesday and Thursday in Callis versus Louisiana, a high-stakes voting rights case in which the court's conservative majority appears poised to gut one of the most powerful provisions of the Voting Rights Act. That said, the heart of the case is Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, which prohibits electoral maps that dilute the voting power of minority groups. Lawyers for the state of Louisiana, a group of non-African American voters, and the Trump administration say the court needs to do away with the 2024 map. If the court agrees, it would ultimately set a precedent that makes it considerably harder to bring redistricting lawsuits on the basis of race and undercut Section 2. So number one, a majority of justices appear poised to weaken Section 2. Conservative justices who make up most of the bench appear sympathetic to the case that Louisiana's congressional map, which added a second majority black district after the Voting Rights Act lawsuit, violates the Constitution. Let me tell you something. So you don't want race to be considered in college admissions. Okay? So that can't be considered in college admissions. You want to, or possibly, remove race consideration in redistricting maps, but ICE can target people, or law enforcement, because not just ICE. Law enforcement now, and your local police can too, not just ICE, can target people based on race. So you can racially profile in law enforcement now by the Supreme Court, but you don't want race considered in college admissions, and now you don't want race considered with redistricting maps. Okay, got it. That means you're not consistent. This is, I'm white and I say so, and white supremacy. Got it. Now, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, conservative press, Janai Nelson, a lawyer, with the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund, which was defending the map as to why Section 2 was still needed. This court's cases in a variety of contexts have said that race-based remedies are permissible for a period of time, sometimes for a long period of time, decades in some cases, but they should not be indefinite and should have an endpoint. What exactly do you think the endpoint should be? He said. The Chief Justice John Roberts, conservative, but swing vote in the court, pressed Nelson on what the proper role of race in redistricting was. He said, what's the proper size? Is it wiggle room we're talking about, or a significant percentage? Neil Gorsuch, another conservative justice, appears skeptical of the use of race in redistricting. One argument is often, once you found a Section 2 violation, you got a compelling interest to go ahead and discriminate on the basis of race in your remedial map. Now, number two, getting rid of Section 2 would be catastrophic for black voters, lawyers said. They said that Nelson was asked by Justice Alina Kagan what the consequence would be if they got rid of Section 2. So I think the results would be pretty catastrophic. She went on to say that many black representatives in Louisiana alone were elected from districts that exist because of the Voting Rights Act. Any further neutering of Section 2 would resurrect the 15th Amendment as a mere parchment promise. And I say Jay Benjamin Aguinaga, and he's a Latino. I'm letting you know that. The Solicitor General. So a Latino is up there being a Solicitor General and fighting to remove Section 2 that he benefits from. It's amazing how they get these so-called minorities to go up here and fight against things they benefit from. They said he pushed back, saying, I think there's been a lot of skies falling rhetoric from the other side in this case. He said, I don't know what our legislature would do if the court rules in our favor. I don't think the sky is going to fall. He said the Republicans would not necessarily wipe out both the majority black districts in Louisiana, which elected Democrats last year, because doing so would make Republican districts more competitive. No, you're going to wipe them out. That's really what it was. Now, I say number three, there was a lot of wrangling over a similar case from 2023. So there was a lot of back and forth Wednesday over Allen versus Milligan. I say a 2023 Supreme Court case in which the justice said Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act required Alabama to add a second majority black district. So Nelson told the justice that Milligan was nearly an identical case. He said at another point, well, if it's an identical case, then it shouldn't even be up there. During our Justin Kagan pointed out that many other arguments Louisiana and white voters challenging the map were making were ones the court had already rejected in Milligan. So white voters in Louisiana, they're challenging another black district. They got all of them, but they don't want black folks to have two. Just two. Okay? Now you see why I say it's nothing to talk about? It said the message of the rest of the justice was clear. It said in an effort to remind them that siding with Louisiana in this case would essentially amount to overturning precedent set just 2 years ago. It said this court said must be particularly concerned about changing its decisions or rejecting, as they stare deceases, they say, in cases that involve a sensitive political context like this one. This calls, of course, legitimacy into question in unique ways. My opponents have not done the labor of showing that precedent should be overturned. That's what Nelson said. Now, they said, recognizing the challenge, Roberts said Milligan took the existing precedent as a given and considered Alabama's application of its approach to evidence. They say it was a subtle but potentially significant remark that signaled he may be open to reconsidering the precedent of Milligan. Okay? So they said Louisiana argued that race-based redistricting is unconstitutional. So the Latino lawyer here with the state of Louisiana said in his opening remarks that race-based redistricting is fundamentally contrary to our Constitution. He said that racial stereotypes were a consequence of the practice. He said they assume, for example, that a black voter, simply because he is black, must think like other black voters, share the same interests, and prefer the same political candidates. And this stereotyping system has no logical endpoint. That's a dumb argument to make, because just because you got a majority black district doesn't mean they're going to vote one way or another. They're just saying that you want to have at least some representation from the black community. I mean, this is so stupid. You know what I'm saying? But let's go on and just keep looking at this. Edward Grimm is a lawyer for white voters who challenged Louisiana map. This you get white people. Told the justice, in today's America, voters like the appellees are still being racially stereotyped to place them into a single-member districts. If it were ever acceptable under our colorblind Constitution to do this, it was never intended to continue indefinitely. Listen, when they say they're colorblind, that means you're racist. I'm going to repeat that again. If they say, I'm colorblind, I don't see color. Yeah, because you're a racist. Because when people actually recognize human beings, you see color, you see communities, you see ethnicities, you see it all. You see culture, you see history, you see all of it. So if you're colorblind, that means nobody matters to you, which means you're racist. You know, just bottom line. So I'm going to frame it that way. If you say you're colorblind, I'm going to say, oh, okay, so you tell them you're racist. Got it. All right, let's continue. And tell them that to their face. Now, Justice Kavanaugh appeared interested in a proposal that would make it harder to challenge districts. Okay, there we go. Throughout the arguments, Kavanaugh repeatedly asked the lawyers to address a proposal from the Justice Department that will reconfigure the test plaintiffs need to go through to win a Section 2 lawsuit. Part of that test requires plaintiffs to show they can draw a reasonably configured alternate district that gives a minority group a chance to elect their preferred candidate. The Solicitor General's proposal would add an additional layer to that test. It requires challengers to show an illustrative district that meets the political goals of map makers. Such a requirement would be essentially impossible to meet, especially in the U.S. South, where voting is often highly racially polarized. Nicholas Stephanopoulos, an election law expert and professor at Harvard, wrote in a blog post earlier this year. Now this is the thing. I think it's we're almost done. Okay, I thought it was a little bit longer than that. He says, suppose the Solicitor General's position were adopted in Louisiana, decided to get rid of both of its congressional minority opportunity districts in order to craft an all-Republican map. Any Section 2 plaintiff would then approve the reasonably configured majority-minority district could be drawn while preserving the plan's all-Republican delegation. They say in all likelihood this showing couldn't be made because under conditions of severely racially polarizing voting, all majority-minority districts would almost certainly elect a Democrat, not a Republican. And they don't realize what they're doing because, see, right now, let's say we remove Section 2. Right now, sure, it'll benefit white people. It would. But here's the problem, and I'm going to get to the problem. That's a big problem, and they're going to screw themselves in the end by doing that. But let's get to number 6. The Progressive Voting Group said that the court's decision could cost Democrats a significant number of House seats. That's all they care about. The Democrats ain't talking about what's happening to us and our representation. They worry about power. It says the Supreme Court is considering the case as Republicans make a nationwide push to redraw district lines that show up their advantage in the U.S. House ahead of the 2026 midterms. The aggressive effort is unusual. And has been criticized as an anti-democratic effort to prevent GOP politicians from being held accountable to voters. It's a decision striking down Section 2 ahead of the midterms, depending on timing, could significantly help Republicans. It could cost Democrats about 12 seats in the House. It said a report by two progressive voting rights groups and put a number of seats at risk, even higher at 19. and say it's enough to cement one-party control of the U.S. House for at least a generation. Well, let's talk about that. Well, you know, and I'm not no kind of Democrat at all, but I'm just a thinking man. Okay, let's say they do this, and all the red states say, "Ooh, this is awesome." Now we're redrawing all the maps, and all the districts are Republican. Okay, cool. That's no problem. Well, if the Democrats are about anything, then all the blue states say, okay, no more Republican districts. It's all Democrat. And we just do it like that. I mean, that would be the only fair way to respond. You get what I'm saying? No Republican districts in a Democrat state. But let me play a video from this sister here. It's kind of frustrated with the situation. Let me get up here. Let me get up here.
White people have had a 400 plus year head start. 400 years worth of generational wealth stolen from our ancestors, Native Americans, ancestors, mind you, stolen. They didn't earn it, took it, and have had a 400 plus year head start and generational wealth. And they can't even handle Black people having one full generation of bare minimum voting right access. Bare minimum. We ain't even nowhere near the same level what y'all got. We just talking about voting rights. My grandmother is almost 80. And in her lifetime, she has literally gone from Black people hardly having any voting rights, especially Black women, to gaining a semblance of voting rights, to now those voting rights being back on the chopping block in one lifetime span. Grandmother. This is, it is so enraging. It's giving me goosebumps. And white people, I don't want to hear all in my comments, I'm so sorry that y'all are experiencing this. This is so unfortunate. I voted for Kamala. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see a speck of salt in my comments. I'll delete it. I don't want to see y'all right now. I don't care about your condolences. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I'm sick of y'all. I'm so... Jesus. 400 year head start, and y'all can't even handle... This is just...
Well, the sister's right. 400-year head start, and they angry. 400-year head start, and Black folks can't have one or two majority districts. 400-year head start, they own all the businesses, and they still crumbling everything. 400-year head start, and got the country in major debt. 400-year head start, and they're yeah. Now you see why I'm saying what I'm saying. Like it's nothing to talk about. See, other Black people getting it now. What is there to talk about at this point? We want to go to HBCUs and do a debate. No. If I'm talking to you at this point, it's a problem with me now. It's not even a problem with you. It's a problem with me. Collectively, I'm going to say collectively, you've always tried to harm my people collectively. And not just my people. You tried to harm, Caribbeans. Look what you're doing in Haiti. Haiti can't get on his feet because of y'all. Latin America is screwed up because of y'all. Let's call it what it is. The African continent is where it's at because of y'all. Because y'all made sure to install puppet leaders over there. If you have a good leader show up, you make sure a coup happens so you can get rid of them. So you can get the resources for free or for nothing. They've been doing it. It don't matter what flavor of them, whether they French, it don't matter. They the U.S., it don't matter what they are. No matter where you at in the world, you just destabilizing everything. So I want Black people to pay attention to that. And what we got to do, it don't matter if you're Caribbean, African, it don't matter if you Latino, and the Black Latino, FBA, don't matter. we can be tired of it, but use that motivation to get on code. We need to be on code more than ever. Neely Fuller told us that a long time ago. We have to be on code with each other. Let me tell you something. At one point in time in this country, we didn't have no voting rights. And how is that we was more on code with each other without the voting rights and got more done? When they built Black Wall Street, we had no voting rights. When they built the 60 plus black towns, not neighborhoods, towns, we had no voting rights. Not to say I'm advocating for us not to have voting rights. It's not what I'm advocating. I'm just saying that when we get on code, there's nothing that we can't do as a people. And yes, if you're a black immigrant, it's going to affect you too. That's why you got to be on code with Black America, because it's going to affect you. The one thing I'm seeing also about these folks, they cutting off all that shucking and jiving. Listen, them little jobs you shucking and jiving, or you black immigrants, or wherever you come from, even the Candace Owens, they don't need them no more. Because why would they want you around? They don't need you. Listen, they on this kick right now. I don't care about you say I'm racist. I'm going to say I have never heard them say the N-word as much as I've heard them say in the past 10 months. Since I've been, they wasn't saying it like that even when Trump was in there the first time. They going for broke. And that is good. Because black folks need to wake the hell up. Black immigrants, you too. I just come over here for a better life. Well, now you in the fire. So either you get it, you either work for the right thing, or you'll run back to your homeland. It's about only what some of you won't, but you know what I'm saying? That's really what it is with you. Because you're not going to be spared. Clearly, ICE is messing with y'all too. So you're definitely not going to be spared. Now, some people can come up with all these different ideas. They listen. Let's think logically here. Let's get out of emotion. They can make the districts all Republican if they want to. Fine. That does not stop you from every black person in America registering to vote. It doesn't stop you from voting for whoever you want to vote for. They can make whatever district they want to make it. Now, they can, if everybody say, you know what, okay, I'm voting for this person, I'm voting for that person, and it's a black majority area. Now, what they'll do, they'll try to carve up those districts, though. That's what they'll do to try to dilute black voting power. So they can't make you move, but they'll just, this side of the city is in, let's say, District 21, and this side of the district is District 22. That's what they'll do. Or they'll run District 23 right in the middle of 21 and 22 so they can dilute. That's what they mean by diluting. Dilute black voting power. They purposely do that so you can't have no block vote. It's done with surgical precision. These people, there's no honor because they're cheaters. But they've been a cheater ever since they came here. Yo, that's why I said that they really, beyond with you, the character, they shouldn't even be a dog catcher. That's why I said that many times in South Africa. Them brothers and sisters over there, 80% of y'all over there. There ain't no reason y'all should have them in your parliament or running nothing in South Africa, especially after apartheid. I've said this many times. Do you think if this country was 80+% FBA, that they'd be running anything? Hell no. No. And then sometimes you tell them, don't say nothing about our country. I'm like, listen, if people see what's going on in your country, they're going to say something. Just like you see what's going on in this country. You say something, right? I ain't got a problem with you talking about America. Talk about it. I have no issue with you talking about it. But we say it don't make sense for you 80+% of the population and letting these folks run you. Because FBA, no, that wouldn't happen. That's why they don't want our numbers to get that high. Because they already know what the deal is. They got to act. See, I want you other black people throughout the world see what they do to us. They have to constantly try to sabotage black people. They're not trying to sabotage Latinos. I want you to notice that. They're not trying to sabotage Asians. They're not trying to sabotage Arabs and Indians and anybody else. I want y'all to pay attention to this. They're always trying to sabotage black Americans. We live in these people's mind every day. What can I do to harm black people? What can I do? And that's why I told y'all all the things I constantly read and then the history and paying attention and just looking into how they sabotage us daily. Y'all, like I told y'all don't know how much peace I think about it, how much peace I had back in April. I was in Ethiopia. I didn't have to worry about their sabotage or dealing with them. And I was so at peace with the Ethiopians. And shout out to the Ethiopians. Shout out to y'all. I was so at peace, eating good food. Didn't even have to go to the gym and I lost 3 pounds. Eating some good food too. That injera, boy, that clean, ooh boy, that was detox. That was a detox. And I needed it, right? Didn't even have to go at the gym, doing more walking than normally and we were eating. The thing is, we were eating good. And I still lost 3 pounds. Yeah, instead of y'all worrying about this obesity rate and cancer rates in this country and trying to cure that, you worrying about how I'm gonna sabotage black people. That's all they focus on. And the reason why you're talking about health care in this country, y'all arguing about health care, the reason why we don't have free health care in this country is because they don't want us to have it. They don't want black people to have it. That's the reason why we don't have free health care. That's how deep the demonic hate they have for black America goes. They will harm their own. And they harming their own with the big, beautiful bill, too. They're harming their own. They have no problem harming their own. Donald Trump and his buddies do not like poor white people. But those poor white people will support what they're doing against black folk. That's why I don't have no sympathy for them. They will always support undermining and doing something ungodly against black America. That's why I say collectively, you're all guilty of it. I don't want to hit it. Now, some individuals that's cool. Okay, I'm not talking about the individuals that's cool and for the right thing. But we talking about the collective. You don't look at a group of people based off of individuals. You look at it at the collective history of what they have been doing. And like there's something to say, for 400 years, the collective history have said that every time they look up, they're dreaming of ways to sabotage, hurt, and harm black America. And I don't fault black Americans for getting tired of it and say, I'm done with these people. I'm out. Now, I can care less for people talking about, oh, that's fleeing, that's running. Listen, you do what you got to do. When people get to a certain age, they tired of it. I'll never forget that brother. I talked to in the airport in Costa Rica. Never forget this brother. And he told me, bro, I fought, the civil rights movement. I fought this, I fought that. And I believed him because he was genuine about it. He said, man, he said, I'm 60 right now. I'm done. I'm cool out here in Costa Rica. I'm chilling. I got friends out here. He said he had him a lady or whatever too. He said, man, I'm chilling. He said, I'm not worried about America and what they doing over there. He said, because I look at all the stuff they doing to the black people, I can't stand it. I'm understanding why he made that decision. I understanding why. You get to your point with some of it. Look, even the Minister Farrakhan, he did his speech, the Swan Song. He loved black people. He been in the fight forever. But it gets to a point like, man, I'm done. You get to your point. I never blame a black person that say they done. But it's supposed to be the younger people that supposed to come behind and get into the fight. Don't supposed to be the same people over and over and over and over again. No, it's supposed to be the new people. It's like in the NBA. Michael Jordan didn't play forever. He had to retire. LeBron James gonna have to retire here shortly. Steph Curry gonna have to retire too. It needs to be new people coming in the league. Same way with black America. They got some people that been there for a hot minute. Cool. You retire, go enjoy your life. Get up on the beach or whatever. You and your lady, or just enjoy your kids, and you do it, but you can give some people some advice if they need it. But the new people need to come in. Yeah, the minister is in, I don't know if he's in 90s. Is he that old? I don't know how old the minister is. How old is the minister Farrakhan? You say he's in 90s. Is he that old? Let me see. See, how is Lewis? Hold on. Oh yeah, you're right. He's 92. He's 92 years old. He was born May 11th, 1933. Yeah, he's 92. Yeah, the minister been fighting for black people for a very long time. Very long time. He's 92 years old. That brother shouldn't have to say nothing. He left enough messages for all of us. If we just go listen to what he said, he ain't got to say nothing else. He don't have to say a word. He done his job. And that brother should enjoy his life, and that's it. Enjoy it. Yeah, I listened to that whole speech. You don't even know what the term of swan song is. When somebody does a swan song type message, they're telling you basically, it's my time to go. That's why he titled it the swan song. But he talked about black Americans, not himself. Bro, do you even understand the title of the speech? Jesus Christ. Who should lead the nation? I don't know. I don't get involved in they decisions, but who should lead or who not, I don't know. The only brother that I could say that, I like, man, that brother's body, Nuri Muhammad. I like him. But hey, I don't get involved with that. That's not my decisions. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the stream tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the like button. Join us, like I said, join us on the African Diaspora News Channel app. We need 10 of y'all to join tonight. It'd be greatly appreciated if y'all do. Make sure to head over to AfroWire AI and check out LaShera, because she's talking about the Democrat shields tonight, so you want to go hear that. Because,